Avonte Maddox, I think, one of the more interesting players on this list.
Very much so.
Now, this is a trade cut candidate, so we're talking, will he be on the Week 1 roster? Just like Kevin Byard's contract is like there's no chance he's coming back on that number, Avonte Maddox is the same. He is due $9.7 million against the cap next season, despite having played just 13 games the last 2 seasons. He's going to be 28, which is maybe a little bit older than it feels like he is, even though he's been around for a while. Now, a restructure, if he's willing to take a pay cut, would save about half of that money against the Eagles' cap, depending on the price of a new deal. Does Vic Fangio want Avonte Maddox as his nickel? Does he bring enough to the table as a blitzer there? Do the Eagles believe that he can stay healthy? We can have the conversation about should they move him to safety again. I don't know how I feel about relying on Avonte Maddox moving forward, but if he is willing to come back for a very pared down salary, certainly he's a guy who they love in that building.
Exactly. You put it well there. I have here Eagles value him, must stay healthy, the $9.6 million cap hit. But then the key question here is someone going to pay him more than you're going to pay him? Because whenever you look at a restructure or a renegotiation, it's obviously players know that they need to take a pay cut in these cases. It's how does it compare to what you can get elsewhere? And it's hard to think that given his injury history that he's going to get significantly more elsewhere because, like you said, he's been a Howie Roseman favorite. The Eagles have valued him. I don't think they can totally rely on him. I do think that they need to bring in more options in the slot. Interestingly, we said last year, going into the year, one of our biggest questions with the team was backup slot. That came to fruition very quickly, right? They lost Zach McPherson early on, and then they moved Zach McPherson over to be the backup. So I think that if he is back, he can't be the only guy you're turning to.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that this would be a situation where, in theory, it might be nice to let Avonte canvass the free agent landscape, see what the best offer he can get is, and then say we'll give you $5 more than that. But I do not think that they can count on Avonte Maddox moving forward.
Steve Whitaker or Steve Whitaker in the chat says I can see them bring him back, but Rodgers start at nickel. Rodgers, for those who don't know, is coming back.
Aaron Rodgers.
Not Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, sorry.
Rodgers is coming back from the gambling suspension. He's been on the Eagles list. He's been on the commissioner's suspended list.
Isaiah Rodgers.
Yes, Isaiah Rodgers. Sorry, I should have said that. Isaiah Rodgers has been on the commissioner's suspended list. He needs to apply for reinstatement. Okay, so it's not as if you can just definitely say he's back. We're assuming he gets reinstated, right? It was a 1-year suspension. He's eligible to apply for reinstatement actually after the Super Bowl. So anytime now, I would imagine. But he needs to be reinstated, and then he's been out of football for a year, so you actually need to see him. But he was a good player with the Colts, and he was supposed to be the Colts' starting slot corner this year. So I do imagine he will be in the mix. And there's a reason why the Eagles signed him.
There you go. All right, let's find out where we have Avonte Maddox. This could be a swinger. 7 for me, 10 for you. Interesting.
You think a better chance? So you think there's a chance that he's cut and brought back,
or just a I think the most likely thing is just a significant pay cut and a restructure that saves some cap room.
We all silly like the mayor.